Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
We also commend her mom, Sister Donna, and many years ago I always see her holding her hand and bringing her. And we also commend the teachers, all are helping to raise up our children in the fear of God and grown up in stature, in nature, and filled with the Spirit. Glory be to God.
Amen.
Shall we pray? Father, we bless you this time, God. We thank you. Our hearts are ready for your word, God. We come to thy presence, God, to hear from you. We ask you this time, God, speak, and thy children are hearing. Speak to me as you spoke through Samuel and the early people to your people, God. I avail myself, God. I humble myself. Use me to touch lives. And let this word that you are going to speak through me sink into the hearts of your people.
Yes, Jesus.
In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Today I'm going to share with you the message I prepared. I've entitled, We Are Salt and Light to This World. We are salt and light to this world.
Amen.
This saying is not coming from me. It's said by the Lord. And we are going to quote it by reading Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. He said, Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt hath lost his savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is in thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. This saying was said by Jesus. And as I said, I've titled my message that we are the salt and the light of this world. And as the reading put it, it said, we are, ye are, all of us are the salt of this world. And if we lost our saltness, we are not good to be used again. We become useless. And there's nothing that we can use for rather than to what? Pour it out and men to walk over it. This is a sad saying. We have values. And let me go to the background of the salt. In the ancient time, in the Roman Empire, they used salt as a wages for their soldiers. Instead of money, when you work at the end of the day, your salary is rewarded by salt. And that should tell you the importance and the value of salt at that time and our days. Roman soldiers, as we all know, they work so hard, and they are people that earn a good salary, and they are well respected due to their responsibility and their task. And at the end of the day, their superiors pay them. And the salary they pay them in our day, instead of money, was salt. And each soldier will receive a wage of salt to carry home and to do whatever he wants to do with. And through their wages, they can use their salary, that is salt, for everything. That's how the value at that time salt is. So Jesus used this as an illustration that we are salt. We are so valuable in this world. Me and you are so important. Like olden days, how salt were used to pay as what? Salaries. But if we lost our saltness, we are good for nothing. One other example, in the previous days, we all know the disciples were fishermen, and there were no refrigerator or cold rooms to install their fishes. But they installed them with what? Salt. And it can stay for numbers of what? Years or months and resell them. So we see the importance and the value and what salt can do. We are value, and our value compared to what? Salt. Salt are important, and we need salt in so various forms. We use salt for seasoning, so that food or stew or things can taste right with this word, tongue. We use salt also to wash wounds. When someone cut themselves, we wash it with what? Salt, so that it will not be what? Contaminated. We use salt for so many things for healing. We use salt for processing and to install things so that it may not get rotten. That's how we are. We are called to be like salt. That will cause differences in this world. Wherever we are, we should consider ourselves as a salt that will what? Used to be processed in this world. So that wherever we are, if things are even rotten and contaminated, because of our saltness, we can make what? Difference. We read from our text in Colossians 4, verse 6. He said, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoning with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer everyone." It's not talking about sweet talk. Some people, use a sweet talk. They may slander you behind, and when you show, "Oh my Lord, how are you? I honor you." That's not what he's talking about. That's called sweet talk. But here he said that he may know how to answer every man, and always with grace seasoned with salt. When people are down, we as a salt, as a Christian, we use our saltness to season them and to encourage them, to preserve them, to strengthen them, to let them stand on their feet, but not tear them and stamp their head. That's what he's talking about. We are like a seasoning. When you use salt to season things, it tastes good. And everybody that come around, when they taste it, they feel good. That's the saltness is talking about. As a matter of fact, Bible talk about encouraging and strengthening each other. Seasoning, we use the salt, speaking to each other in season. When we are talking and using salt, we season ourselves, encourage and strengthen each other, and pray for one another. That's the saltness he's talking about. We are salt that make a difference. And if we lost our saltness, there's nothing that can be used for anymore. When salt are contaminated, the meaning of when we lost our saltness, salt can never lose its saltness. But when it gets contaminated, there's nothing you can use contaminated salt for, but rather to throw it out. And many of us are contaminated. We are contaminated with so many things. that even people that don't want us around, because our tongue, instead of seasoning people, seasoning our brothers and sisters to strengthen and encourage them, we are so contaminated. We cause havoc and trouble. We bring people down unreasonably. We slander. We accuse. We pass judgment without no consideration. We tear people down instead of lifting people up. We discourage, and we lost our season. Where is your saltiness? Leviticus 2:13. He said, and every oblation, that sacrifice of the meat offering, shall thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from the meat offering. With all thine offering thou shalt offer salt. You know what this particular verse means? All our offering, we should season it. When we season something, it becomes sweet. It simply means a cheerful giver. Just be happy. Season our offering. Every meat that God requires from us, He wants that meat to be seasoning, like how we make our barbecues. We season them. We invite friends. And when they come and taste our seasoned meat, they feel good and they are happy. And we sat down and we chat. That's how God requires our offering. Every meat that will be offered as a sacrifice offering to Him, He wants it to be seasoning with salt. So we see the role of a salt. Salt seasoning things to taste good, and people eat it and they feel good. And simply means let everything you do to one another, let it be encouraging and cheerful. Do we season one another? Do we offer sacrifice of seasoning? If you are paying your tithes, let it be seasoning. Season your offering like you are seasoning your meat. Let it be sweet. If you're supposed to give 10%, you can give 20%. That's seasoning. We need to season everything that we give to God. We need to season everything that we give to our brothers and sisters. We have to become a seasoning salt. That when people see it, no matter how their condition, no matter how their circumstances, they feel good that we are around. Because we become seasoned. We don't condemn unreasonably. Whilst we have a bunch of fault have covered all our heads, we leave all behind and condemning people. Discouragement. We make ourselves as, most wise people. Anybody we meet and we try to advise them and bring them down. Sometimes they don't even need it. There's no seasoning. That's claiming to be righteous and wise in your own eye. Maybe your wisdom becomes foolishness to them because you are tormenting them. There's no seasoning. We have to be a seasoning that people appreciate it. Real counsel that we counsel people go with compassion. You will feel in their shoes. You have compassion with them. Even when you need to rebuke somebody, we rebuke people with what? Compassion. We felt it, that they are fall. We felt it, that they are down. We felt it, that they are failed. We don't stamp in their head and tell them you are the cause of this, you have done that, you have done that. That is not seasoning. Amen. We have to be a seasoning. that people will love us, who appreciate it. Sometimes we don't understand why people don't want to hear from us. We become so cantankerous condemnation and thought we have all the answers of this world, whilst our own chambers and closets are full of troubles. We should be seasoned. Even when someone falls, they sin deliberately or undeliberately. We who are standing to help them and lift them up with compassion, knowing that we also can be there. We should be sad. We should stop condemning people and bringing people down. That's a form of losing our softness. We come to the light. We see the difference between salt and light. And these things goes together. The role of a light. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. That's Matthew 5:40. How better do we bright? Do we indeed bright at all? Do we shine in this dark world? Do we shine at wherever we are? You know, there are some individuals, as soon as they show up in the family, everybody wants to come around. And we have some also. If they hear that he's around, nobody, if you invite them, family gathering, nobody will show up. They are dimming light. And some are bright light. People love to go to the light. Because when you get to the light, you begin to shine yourself. Such people are people who help you also to bright. They don't discourage. They don't try to be so wise than everybody and try to share ideas. When they see you, they begin to advise you and bringing you down. We should show our godliness. And the light that within us, which is Christ, should bright with compassion and love and meekness. Be a servant, but rather not a boss. Not standing there and hold your waist and giving others. No, you should take this. No, put this one down. No, lift this one up. And holding nothing. That's not how people with light behave. Christ being the light, he came to serve. He came to show us how to serve one another. By serving one another, we begin to bright and shine. Be a servant. I love to serve. It's in my nature. It's in my DNA. Because that's the way up if you want to shine. Amen. We read from Ephesians 5:8 about the light also. It said, "For you were sometime darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of light." This is the order and command. We were one time in the darkness, and now we have come to the light. We should walk as a children of light. Are you walking in the light? We may sing it and claim we are walking it, but really and indeed are we walking in the light? We sing, "I'm walking in power. I'm walking in the miracle." Are you living the life of miracle? And are you indeed walking in power? Are we walking in the light? When we walk in the light, we will see the great light that Jesus, and he will help us to bright more and more. Because the world needs us. The world is full of darkness and full of evil. We need people to bright. The children of God need to stand up as a light of God and shine and let the world see the light which is in us. Philippians 2:14-15, it said, do all things without murmuring. A lot of murmuring these days and disputing, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of, which means the daughter of God also, without rebuke in the midst of crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. You see, we live in the society, in the world that many people faith has been what? Down. And we have to rise up and stand up and shine. And we should show an example of Christ and become Christ-like, so that the world have nothing to accuse us of. If we are about to live the right life of righteousness, the Bible says, if you are willing or able to do right, who will accuse you? The world cannot accuse us. Because Jesus said, he says, look, the son of perdition is coming, but they have nothing in me. No evil in me. And this is what the Bible encourages, that we should try to live a life of work that appreciative, righteous life. Because we live in a crooked world. And they will not have nothing against us. And stop murmuring. Stop complaining. And be grateful and appreciative the little that God has given to us.
Amen.
Not abundance that we have that bring peace to us. Is the little that we have, that God has blessed, and that alone should be sufficient for us. Are you going to be the light or the salt of this world? God has commissioned us to be light and salt to this world. When we show up in heaven, we will give an account of what we did in our lives. How many lives have you been able to touch? How many people did you able to shine for? Where you were? Were you the light, or you became dim and people could not see you? We will give these accounts to God, because He has given us the light. The light is within us, and we should let it shine and bright, so that people may see the goodness of God in us. We should be the salt. That will be a seasoning. And a lot of people go through challenges. They go through some ungodly counselors. We can be the salt that will counsel them. We can be the people that will bring comfort to their life. Depression and so forth and those things. We can encourage people.
Hallelujah. Amen.
We can strengthen them.
Yes.
Because we are salt and light of this world. I want us to get up and begin to shine. I want us to stand up and begin to season people. I want us to stand on our feet and claim the laws for the Lord. Shall we stand and bow down?